Okay, in this project we had a bunch of loaders here, which you can easily get from Google Warehouse. And this loader here was in various different positions. And they wanted to be able to control different pieces of equipment remotely. So they would control this with some sort of controller in the cab. Over here you've got these belts and stuff. They wanted to be able to have an emergency shut-off switch in there and turn this stuff on and off and so forth. Same thing with this loader up here. They wanted to be able to turn these water jets, misters, on and off and set them to oscillating. Also, another problem I had was I wanted to be able to show a different position than just up. This is the model I got. It's in the up position. I'm stuck with it. So I can't show this bucket down low. So that has led me to develop what I call an advanced symbol. Here we have an advanced symbol that has different positions and is also articulating. Okay. Now before I went and spent the time on this, I made sure I got the right model that they're always using, the 966M, and I copied their drawings, which was good because I found out that the model that I downloaded from Google Warehouse was way off. It was way too small. So what I had to do is I had to make all these things here symbols. The back end, the front end, the arm, the bucket, and the claw. And I have these little insertion points which allow me to assemble something very quickly. So I can just grab this, bring it over here, and assemble that. See, that's in the right position. So I took the time to locate those points very carefully. Okay? So that's how I did it. And then the thinking was I would just assemble it as I needed it. But since I already had the 4 basic positions, I decided just to provide a symbol by itself. That's called push. That there is called scoop. See? So now when I want to place these things, I just add the back end and I add the front end to show what I want. Okay, so that's how I did that. Now here's another thing. Now, as for the cab, I decided to make it glass and see-through and hollow on the inside. The reason for that is because in a lot of these discussions, when they're showing the loader in different locations, people are saying things like, oh, when the loader gets here, we want it to have an emergency shut-off. So what I'm able to do now is I've got this little modular thing on here. I can now come in here and I can place a push button off or a push button on, or if they say, oh, we want some sort of tablet in there, I can just start adding these things as placeholders to let everybody know that, okay, in this position, this is what we want. We want these things to work. We want to be able to control certain pieces of equipment from inside the cab, and I'm able to now capture pieces of the conversation kind of in a 3D format here. Now for this thing here, it's good to have things that you can rotate. That's how you rotate that up. And then you can just grab this and say, and then because this here has data attached to it, see that? I can say blah, 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 blah. This button is for this. This button here is for that. Blah, blah, blah. So now it's captured. Okay, same thing with the tablet. You go here, you say this or that. There you go. And this stuff here, these are all linked to a spreadsheet, which you can bring in and you can capture all this information on the spreadsheet. And it's a two-way spreadsheet. So it tells me what I have going on. So that's what I'm discovering with symbols and advanced symbols. Oh, and one more thing that was discovered. Here's an earlier version of what I just described. Okay, during one design meeting with the GoToMeeting, where I was controlling the screen and everybody was looking at the fly-through model, all of a sudden you're in the cab And by looking out the glass, people start remembering things like the operator, he needs to observe for dryness here. So the benefit of 3D is even in something like a cab where you think everything's designed and nothing could come about by being inside the cab. You get in the cab and people start talking about things. They start viewing things as if they were in the cab, and it starts to remind them of things that they need. We need a digital readout water meter. So it seems that the more that the design team is immersed in a 3D environment, the more thinking it stimulates.